There comes a moment in your life, quiet, subtle, and devastatingly clear, when you finally understand that not everyone who approaches you comes with good intentions. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Not everyone who asks for something from you is asking from a place of honesty, wholeness, or alignment. Some people ask because they see your heart. Some ask because they see your potential. But many ask because they see your weaknesses before you see them yourself. Carl Jung once wrote that the most dangerous people in your life are not the obvious enemies, but the ones who demand pieces of you in ways you don't immediately question. Not because they deserve those pieces, but because you've been conditioned to give them away. You see, the world has quietly trained you to be generous with your energy, to be available, to be understanding, to be forgiving, to be open. But it has never taught you what happens when you give these things to the wrong people. And the truth is simple. The moment you give the wrong person access to your inner world, they begin rearranging the furniture of your mind. They start shaping your self-image. They start influencing your choices. They start hijacking your emotional equilibrium. They start feeding off your empathy like it's oxygen. They start asking for things you don't even realize you're giving. But if you want to protect your destiny, if you want to protect your peace, if you want to protect your power, you must learn to immediately distance yourself from the people who ask for these 5 things. This isn't about paranoia. It's about psychic hygiene. It's about emotional sovereignty. It's about spiritual survival. Because the most dangerous form of manipulation isn't loud. It's subtle. It's quiet. It's dressed in politeness. It's coated in guilt. It's wrapped in the illusion of closeness, and nothing reveals a person's true nature faster than what they ask of you when they believe you won't say no. The first thing you must run from, and I mean run without hesitation, without guilt, without explanation, are the people who ask you to lower your standards. They won't say it directly. They'll never say, drop your self-respect for me. They'll never say, become less so I can feel like more. They'll never say, compromise your boundaries so I don't have to grow. Instead, they'll make subtle comments. Why are you being so difficult? Why are you so picky? Why can't you just be flexible? Why do you need all that? You're asking for too much. They'll treat your standards like conditions, not protections. Because here's the psychological truth Jung understood long before any of us. People who cannot rise to your standards will always try to pull you down to theirs. Your standards expose their lack of discipline. Your standards reveal their hidden insecurities. Your standards threaten the version of themselves they've been avoiding. And instead of leveling up, they want you to level down. But understand this. Lowering your standards is self-betrayal disguised as compromise. It is the fastest way to lose your identity, your direction, your rhythm, your momentum. Because your standards are not demands. They are filters. They protect the future you're building. They guard the destiny you're growing into. They separate those who are aligned with your soul from those who are attracted to your wounds. Anyone who asks you to lower your standards is asking for the version of you that no longer exists. This is the first danger. The second is far darker, far more seductive, far more invisible. Stay away from the people who ask for your silence. They want you quiet, not peaceful quiet, not calm quiet, not reflective quiet. Quiet enough that they never have to face themselves. Quiet enough that their actions go unchallenged. Quiet enough that you swallow the hurt they caused. Quiet enough that accountability never lands. Quiet enough that they can keep you exactly where they want you. These are the people who say, let's just move on. I don't want to talk about it. You're being dramatic. You're overreacting. Can't you just drop it? What they're really saying is, don't disrupt the system where I benefit and you suffer. And for this bait, your voice is the greatest threat to anyone who profits from your silence. Because your voice breaks patterns. Your voice exposes emotional imbalance. Your voice shatters illusions. Your voice reveals character. Your voice demands truth. Jung believed that what you do not bring to consciousness will destroy you, and silence is the breeding ground for unconscious suffering. If someone ever asks for your silence, they are asking you to abandon your inner truth to protect their outer comfort. And that is a cost too high for any awakened soul to pay. This is where your self-worth must rise like a blade, sharp, unapologetic, final. Because the moment you stay silent to preserve a relationship, you lose the relationship you have with yourself. The third type of person to stay away from, the ones who ask for your loyalty without giving you honesty, are the most psychologically dangerous of all. These are the individuals who demand that you stand by them, support them, protect them, defend them, yet they refuse to give you the truth you deserve. They want your loyalty, but deny you transparency. They want your commitment, but reject accountability. They want your devotion, but give you deception. This is not loyalty. This is emotional slavery. And too many people, especially empaths, healers, intuitives, fall into this trap because loyalty feels like love to them. But real loyalty requires truth, consistency, and mutual respect, not secrecy, not manipulation, not selective information, not half-truths wrapped in emotional intimacy. When someone asks for your loyalty but hides the truth from you, they're not building a bond, they're building a cage. And cages built from affection are the hardest to escape. This is where most people lose years of their lives, trapped in relationships that feel meaningful, but are built on emotional distortion. If someone asks for your loyalty, but refuses to give you honesty, they do not want a partner. They want control, and you must walk away. Because your loyalty is sacred, and truth is the only foundation it can stand on. The fourth danger, the one that destroys more destinies than betrayal, heartbreak, or failure combined, is the person who asks for your time but has no intention of honoring your purpose. These are the time thieves, the momentum killers, the dream diluters, the ones who pull you into their orbit because they have nothing meaningful anchoring their own. They ask you to hang out. They ask you to entertain them. They ask you to take it easy. They ask you to put your goals aside just for a bit. They ask you to make room for their chaos. They ask you to sacrifice your discipline so they can avoid their own discomfort. These people do not want your time. They want your distraction, because your focus exposes their lack of direction. Your ambition exposes their stagnation. Your discipline exposes their excuses. Your goals expose their avoidance. If you are not careful, you will give your time to people who have no intention of growing and lose years that were meant for your transformation. Stay away from anyone who treats your time like it is replaceable, because your time is the one currency the universe will never refund. And then there is the fifth danger, the most subtle, the most widespread, the most spiritually corrosive. Stay away from the people who ask for your identity. Not literally, but psychologically, energetically, emotionally. These are the people who want you to become who they need you to be, not who you are becoming. They want you to be less outspoken, less ambitious, less confident, less intuitive, less aware, less awakened, less powerful, because your true identity threatens the version of you that served them. These are the individuals who say, "You've changed. You're not the same anymore. I miss the old you. You're acting different. You've become distant." Translation: you are no longer easy to manipulate. You are no longer predictable. You are no longer operating at the frequency where I could use you. Anytime someone asks subtly or directly for the version of you that you had to outgrow to survive, run. Your identity is not up for negotiation. Your evolution is not up for debate. Your transformation is not a threat. It is a requirement. And anyone who asks you to shrink does not deserve the future you're building. These 5 requests: lower your standards, silence your truth, give loyalty without honesty, sacrifice your time, and abandon your identity, are the 5 cracks through which your destiny can leak out of your hands. And if you do not protect yourself, the world will take everything you do not guard. And the more awakened you become, the more clearly you start to see these cracks, not as random moments of discomfort, but as patterns, as warnings, as energetic signatures of people who were never meant to walk beside you on your highest path. Because here's what no one tells you until you're deep into your evolution. Your greatest danger is not the enemy who attacks you. Your greatest danger is the person who drains you slowly. Not enough to alarm you, just enough to erode you. The friend who always needs just a minute. The partner who always needs you to understand. The colleague who always needs a little help. The family member who always needs you to put them first. The acquaintance who always needs you to listen to their chaos. One request at a time, one compromise at a time, one small self-betrayal at a time. You lose pieces of yourself until nothing feels like yours anymore. And when you try to rise, when you try to change, when you try to set boundaries, when you try to reclaim your energy, they suddenly say, you've become selfish. You've